Yeah, this is like the favorite dish, like in Valentine's Day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, we make them in heart shapes, right?
Yeah.
No, we don't.
Because
we do not make
it's
them in
red.
heart shapes.
No.
Hey guys, I'm Meryl, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the brand new Feedfeed Test Kitchen in downtown Los Angeles. Let's go take a peek. This is our gorgeous new test kitchen with brand new Miele appliances. We're honored to be filming today with our friends and neighbors from Rosso Blue. This is Chef Steve Samson and Francesco Allegro.
I'm Chef Steve Samson from Rosso Blue Restaurant in Los Angeles, California. This is our Sfoglino, Francesco Allegro. Sfoglino means he's a pasta guy. He does all our pasta at Rosso Blue by hand.
With a rolling pin, with a knife, with my hands, that's it. It is. Already hungry. We started making the dough. We make a small volcano.
Volcano, yeah.
So I always like people use just the yolk, use just the white part of the eggs. We use all the eggs. We don't add any salt, we don't add any olive oil.
This is the traditional pasta recipe from Bologna.
And we start making everything together. We work first in the center of this volcano here. As you can see, nothing's going out now. All you need to do is just like incorporate everything together. Every time I say, what's your secret with the dough? It's easy, it's so easy, everyone can make this.
Yeah, anyway, but you don't want to work it too hard, right, Francesco? You don't want to, you just want to, you kind of want to form ununiform air bubbles in the dough.
Yep.
And that's what I would say the advantage of doing it by hand versus doing it in a machine. Less uniformity, which means there's more texture, better taste, more the sauce that you're using will cling to the pasta better than if you use a roller. Yeah, here you're gonna have little bits that are gonna harden, and you don't want to incorporate those little hard bits in the pasta, right?
No, we don't need it.
Same with what's on his hands now. He doesn't want those little hard bits to get worked into this dough.
This is our dough, and now I can cut with the knife until I can show you what we were talking about before. We have bubbles here. When you make a dough with the machine, you don't have like all these bubbles here. Usually it's really nothing.
Yeah, it's just very uniform, like a loaf of white bread, whereas this is a loaf of like artisanal country bread. You always want to rest the dough for at least 20 minutes after this point. Even if you use a machine at home, for convenience, you still want to rest the dough because you want to let the glutens kind of relax and so that if you tried to roll it out now, it would just contract, right?
Yeah, you roll and
it would just.
she's coming back.
She's coming back.
She's coming back. So no air, because if you have like some air inside and you have like a part that is too dry, so when you use the rolling pin, you can't roll this pasta really, really good. Magic, this is our dough when it's rested after 20 minutes. As you can see, the color is just a little bit different because we have some flour here, but now in 20 minutes, it's all the flour here will be absorbed by the dough that we just made. And now we start roll the pasta.
I'll step back. I don't want to get hurt.
So we put some flour on the top of the table. We flip the dough on the other side.
Let's do it.
Let's start rolling this pasta. So we start from the middle until the end, and we follow this circle here. We turn the pasta every time. Turn. This is the first movement. Actually, we just want to open the pasta and keep always the shape, the round shape all the time. So always from the middle. With the second movement, you want to follow this part here.
So this third movement is really good for stretching the pasta, especially from the middle actually. It stretches the middle more than the edges.
Yeah, because now we're doing this movement here, we're still working on this side here, and we're not taking care about the center, the middle. That's why doing this movement here, stretching, and just doing this, we're opening also the center of the pasta. I need a little bit of flour now because I can feel, even without so much pressure, that it's sticky to the rolling pin. So flour, just a little bit of flour until I can still stretch the pasta. Flour is good in the beginning because I have to roll out really fast the pasta, but then at the end it's an enemy,
yeah,
because the pasta is drying so fast if you're adding the flour at the end. So we're making these ravioli really old school style.
So this is the line that he's going to use when he fills it. My cute little nonna.
Yeah.
She used to do this every morning.
Yeah, but for sure, just for
four people.
For 4 people.
Not for 300
people. For the ravioli, for sure, what I want to do is use just my finger here for difference and just make just the other one.
You don't want huge spaces in between because then you'll get these. You
have too much pasta in
too
this
much
case,
pasta
you
and
don't
not
have
enough
too much
filling.
filling,
It should be balanced, just like everything in life. So the filling is just roasted beets, some ricotta cheese, lots of Parmigiano Reggiano, some egg yolks just to help bind it. Beets were roasted with a little butter and sage because that's the sauce we're going to do. And then seasoned with salt, pepper, and some fresh grated nutmeg. That's about it. Very simple. Yeah, if you're making it at home and you're worried about how working fast and the pasta drying out, you can cover half of it with like a damp towel. And like Francesco said, I've seen people who like use egg wash and brush it. That's totally unnecessary. You can just get a spray bottle, a plastic spray bottle, put it on mist, and if it starts to dry out a little, just
yeah, and everything is
like
really
sound
wet.
effects?
Yeah. So I start pushing the air on this side, just doing this, and then I mean Bologna, they say just a thing that you're playing the piano, and they just push. This is our fancy taglia pasta. With this one, we make different, no shapes, but like the design, it's different.
These cutters do a really good job of sealing, but you really want to make sure the pasta is well sealed so it doesn't open when it cooks.
Exactly.
We're ready to cook the ravioli now. So I have my water here rapidly boiling. I like to season the water. It's important for a couple of reasons. For flavor, and also when salt ionizes. Many years ago I studied science, so I don't remember, but it has to do with NaCl, like ionizing in here. It actually raises the boiling point of the water so the pasta cooks better because it's cooking at a higher temperature. Important thing about when cooking pasta is you want to make sure there's lots of water. You don't want to put a big amount of pasta in a small amount of water because that'll make the pasta kind of stick together and not cook evenly. Pasta that you might buy at the store that's more of a southern Italian style pasta like spaghetti or rigatoni or penne, those are extruded pastas, so it's dried all the way and it's thicker than this, so it's going to take a lot longer to cook. And again, since this is fresh pasta that Francesco just made, it's not going to take very long to cook at all. This is a brown butter and sage sauce. The brown butter adds kind of a nutty flavor as it cooks down. I'm going to take about 3 or 4 sage leaves and just break them up into here. Really brings out the nice aroma of the sage. And here, which is kind of unique from up in northeastern Italy, the Veneto, Alto Adige, Friuli, there are a lot of influences from Austria, and so there's things like poppy seeds that aren't really found much throughout Italy. Now I can see my butter's browning, that's where I get my nutty flavor. I can just add a little bit of, stand back, so add a little bit of water, sorry. Just kind of stop the cooking. Now I'm just gonna add my ravioli right into the pan. Just gonna toast them a little bit, coat the butter. And now this is ready to plate. I'm gonna kind of fry the pasta, the butter just a little bit more. I'm gonna grate some Parmigiano Reggiano cheese right on top here. And then what I like to do is kind of just put some of this hot brown butter right on top so it kind of melts the cheese onto the pasta. Here we have our roasted beet ravioli with brown butter, sage, Parmigiano Reggiano, and poppy seeds.
Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Steve, for joining us at the Feedfeed.
Thank you so much for having me here at Feedfeed, and we'll see you next time.